Sabhaya Namaha, Gurubhyo Namaha. Before I speak something about the topic, today's topic, first I would like to say something, deviating from this thing, what Madam has told you all. You are very fortunate to have such a wonderful principal commissioner here who has very politely cautioned you regarding the measures she is going to take. An advance information. Madam, honestly telling from my heart, I am coming from Hyderabad. There, several chartered accountants have already received notices from the wing for these wrong claims made in official areas and all these things. That's a common practice that they are doing. And already several notices to the SSCs and chartered accountants also have come, madam. But my Honorable Principal Commissioner is very gracious enough to tell you in a very polite manner that Babu, this is not going to be a good practice. We are going to come to you before she comes to you. Better you surrender, because all those are wrong claims. We all very well know. Please advise your clients in a proper way. Everybody, very professional. Not only you means not only you. We at Hyderabad were also doing that same thing. That's a different story.
One thing, sir, here in Vijayawada, normal a chartered accountant or very honestly.
I'm not.
ITP income tax practitioner.
Whatever it is. SSCs is a
ITP.
Finally, it is a disservice. No, not calling any particular people. It's a general. If wrong practices have been done, finally it affects the SSC. Coming now, before the topic, I'd like to do a just small quote from Gita. Nahi gnanena sadrusyam pavitramih vidyate. Gnanamto samanamainadi vere ledu. You all know knowledge is divine, but that knowledge is a fruit of continuous reading, learning, and sharing. The last word has brought me all the way back to Vijayawada. I was born in Guntur, and in those days, Guntur, there was no CA exam. I had to stay in my sister's house at Vijayawada and write the exam. So this is my second home place. So why I have come all the way from Hyderabad is sharing. Somebody has said 30 years appellate worker, I don't know, but I was fortunate to be dealing in appellate work. So I was forced to go through the provisions of Vivad, Vishwas, rightly, mostly connected with appellate work, not the original work. So I have read over something in the first scheme and the second scheme also. I want to learn more by sharing my views with you. It's not that I know something more than what you know. By sharing and discussing with you, I want to enrich my knowledge. That's why I have come down here. Now, coming to the scheme, before explaining the scheme, to Honorable Principal Commissioner, I would like to convey our sincere respects and appreciations to the government from bringing out such a wonderful scheme, excellent scheme. Wonderful and excellent. Why I use this? I will explain with some example which was very practically applicable to you. As a chartered accountant and tax professional, everyone would have at one time in his life career met with a situation where we will be required to declare some additional income, either in the search proceedings or survey proceedings or even in assessment proceedings. In all such cases, we would be writing on behalf of the SSC, absolutely with the consent of the SSC, we will be writing a letter to the department that this additional income is offered voluntarily without any force from the department, good faith and all these things. We will be adding one thing, that no penal proceedings be initiated. This disclosure is made to purchase fees or to avoid protracted litigation. It depends on the language, differs from one chartered accountant to other chartered accountant department, depending upon the level of English proficiency. So what we will be requesting is to avoid protracted litigation and not to initiate any penal proceedings or other proceedings also. I don't know how far the piece was sold or litigation was avoided, but now this is where the words wonderful and excellent come into picture. Without any request from our side, the government itself has come down. It has taken 4 steps down and offered a scheme where your SSCs will be enjoying the best of the fruits. Simply, I will tell where an appeal is pending, the tax portion, the government says if you pay the tax portion, 234 ABC, which are automatic, as our friend has already told, in some cases, the interest portion is much more than the tax portion. I'll explain things later. So interest, entire 234 ABC will be avoided. Then penalties, levied penalty also goes, if you go for a quantum appeal, I'll explain in detail later. If you settle the quantum appeal by paying the tax, automatically the penalty is gone. And penalty leviable, foreseen also, that is also gone. And 222 interest, it will in certain cases will be far more than the tax and 234 ABC also. You will be beneficiary. The SSCs will be means, I never say one particular situation. So then finally prosecution. Nowadays department is on prosecution spree. They will definitely increase the number of prosecution initiations, and all this can be avoided. So the government has come up with a scheme where it is offering you in a basket every fruit. It is for us to take into the benefits of the scheme, avail the benefits of the scheme. And this particular scheme has gone one step ahead also. It has offered the scheme once again to those who have missed the bus at that time. Those appeals which were pending in 220, where you could not, depending upon the advice or circumstances or money or whatever it is your reasons may be, you could not avail the benefits at that time. You are eligible now again under the scheme. Maybe a 1%, 10% extra tax you pay. In particular, myself, one of my client is having an appeal for the last so many years. We are going up and down, up and down, up and down. Now I am going to advise him because, as he said, 234 ABC will be four times, 5 times than the quantum itself. So those people are also covered under the scheme. Now, what is the scheme? Briefly, I'll explain. Vivad se Vishwas. There are appeals. Before that, for the any success of this scheme, there are 4 important stakeholders. The government, as I said, on its part, it has come up with an excellent scheme. It's excellent, wonderful, but some fine tuning, it will be much more better. I'll come to what the government needs to do. Government, almost it has done its job wonderfully. The second stakeholder is the administrators. The chief officer of the government in your area, I think covering Guntur also, has come down to you sitting on the dais. Administration is ready to help you. And I talked to the to headquarters, he also said we are giving form 2 immediately also. That is a wonderful thing. Government, the administrators are ready. The third stakeholder should be the chartered accountants. Our role I will emphasize next. And the fourth stakeholder and the beneficiary will be the SSC. Final benefit he only will enjoy, but he will not understand. Most of the cases who are handling the faceless after faceless, most of the SSCs will be getting the notices and all these things in mails. Most of the mail IDs are given at the time of taking PAN number, which PAN number, that PAN number might have been taken at a PAN bar, whatever it is. Most of the notices, what we are seeing in the appellate side, most of the assessments are 144, non-represented. So the SSCs may not be knowing all the finer points of these schemes. So the main structure of this scheme lies in the hands of the success. For the success of the scheme lies in the hands of the professionals like us who have to advise. Unfortunately, our profession, it was how when it has come, I don't know how it has become like that. I don't know. It has become into 2 parts: the original assessments and then appellate houses. It's not any appellate houses like any Minerva Hotel or Taj Mahal Hotel. It's also a part of our income tax profession. So as soon as we get any assessment order, they like to see who is doing good appellate work or whatever it is they are throwing on them, and they are taking care of the appellate work and all these things. It's not that the original work is done by a chartered accountant. He knows how the return is filed and how he has repented before the assessing officer, what was the replies he has filed to the queries raised by the assessing officer. And when an assessment order comes in variance with the claims made, then he should be first aggrieved than the assessing. He knows the problems in that. He can represent the appellate work in a better way than some people doing only appellate work. Maybe they are reading more legal issues than not. If you force, you will also read the case laws regularly. And
The word complexities.
I'll come back to it. Google Tally has come and it will get the case laws and all these things. By practice, it will come. These appellate houses were not born from they also started with first appeal, second appeal, then. So you'll have the overall knowledge. So as far as this scheme is also concerned, when you say that Vivad se Vishwas, so you will say, sir, this is being mostly handled by the appellate houses or appellate chartered accountants. So there will be more concern with it. We have filed a return when an assessment order has come. We have handed it to somebody XYZ. Vivad se Vishwas, they will explain better. They'll not, it's not like that. My advice is, my request, I'll also say a request. I'm a co-professional person. Wherever when an assessment went against you, you have already given it to appeal for. If you have filed, no problem. We'll come into the second category. If you have handed it over to some XYZ, first of all, prima facie, you assess the situation. You assess the situation in the sense whether the SSC will gain much more by going to the appeal or by opting the VSVS. Opting VSVS, what are the benefits? I will tell you. You also know very well. It's a very simple language. The act has been drafted. Everybody knows it. It's not complicated, complex. Hardly 10 sections, 2 pages act. So you first prima facie assess it and then go to that person who is handling the appeal. Then he may differ and he may advise you, sir, no, recently one Supreme Court judgment has come, which is in favor of this issue. So we will be benefited by filing an appeal. Continuing with the appeal, then it's good. You can advise it. If he says, no, sir, recently also Supreme Court has taken an adverse view, so it's not better, he will also support your view. Then call upon the SSC and force him to, sir, these are the benefits you are going to take, impress upon him and file the application. And I tell once again, this is the best opportunity for an SSC to save lots of things. I got a case where the tax demand is 2.88 crores. Already 234 ABC levied is estimated 1516. 234 ABC levied is 1.78 crores. And the consequential order, we have gone up and down from tribunal, second appeal, first. Now again matter is in the tribunal. So this consequential order, latest consequential order after the first appellate order is passed on 2015. So if tomorrow that appeal, I'm doubtful 50-50 case. So if the appeal is confirmed, the CIT's order is confirmed, straight away he has to pay 178, 234 ABC, then 222 interest. I don't know how much it will come from 1516. It will be calculated. It will be minimum 178. Already 3.5 crores benefit. And according to me, that is the fittest case for 271. Once he has sold a property, did not declare anything in the return. Even in 148, he said this is not a sale. No case at all for a 25 crores. So penalty will be levied. So if he opts for this scheme, given on a platter by the government, he will end up by paying 2.88 and save so much. If I fight for my pride or whatever it is, jidduga fight cheste, I may not be doing justice to the profession. In all such cases, that's why you analyze the case, each case, whether this is better for opting VSVS or not. So what is scheme? Scheme says any case which you feel is eligible, fit for this, a definition of the appellant is given. The beneficiary appellant means they say any person whose appeal is pending on 22/7/24. Madam, I will come back to the requirements from the government, minor modifications, which I will give you in a memorandum also, which I pray be conveyed to the higher authorities so that the scheme will be 150% successful than the first scheme. I'll come back to it at a later stage. So there is a cutoff date. They say an appeal, if it is pending on 22/7/24, that SSC is eligible for appeal for opting the scheme. And appeal pending before C8 appeals, ITIT, High Court, and Supreme Court also. Everybody is eligible. Appeal includes quantum additions or penalty appeal also. Then they say, you are eligible. First of all, you have analyzed that he is eligible. There are certain classification and eligibility will come later. After you fix that this SSC can go for, you have to file one form. You have to fill it up a form. It's not a complicated form. You have filled up. no problem. My office associate Shadak is doing it. He doesn't find much complications in it unless the issue itself is complicated. So you have to file one form. Form 1 it is called. There you are offering that we are opting for this scheme. How much you have to pay? They have given a table. Briefly, I will explain the table. If it is a quantum appeal, you get off by paying the disputed tax. Disputed tax means always surcharge and education cess. Simply, you have to fill up that what is the amount you are going to pay after deducting or whatever already paid. Because if in appeal, department is kind enough, still they are not forcing us. Already we have paid 20%. Somebody said it's a win-win. I see it's not equally win-win. It is 70% win for the SSC, 30% only for the department. They have already collected 20% and they can collect much more interest. कानून का हाथ बहुत लंबा है. They can collect even 22 interest also. So that's why they have come up with a scheme. It is for us to take it up. So if the table is, if it is a quantum, you pay off the disputed tax, surcharge and education cess included. If it is only penalty appeal, you pay 25%. Penalty appeals means not only these penalties, sir, but related to the quantum where 100% penalty is levied or whatever it is. Major penalties nowadays are 271D. 271D, 269 SS violations, sale deeds. Most of the SSCs and officials are still selling the properties for cash. And they say 20,000, still they are quoting most of the appellate forums also, we are also fighting that same old 48.3 we are saying no banking areas, that is agriculture estate, sab kuch chalta nahi. 271D will be levied. There are some conflicting decisions in the meanwhile from ITITs. They may not stand the test of scrutiny. They say assessing officer has not recorded the satisfaction. He is not the levying authority. Why he should write the satisfaction? Levying authority is JCIT. That is where we are winning the 148 cases in the High Court. They say what we are fighting there. The satisfaction is recorded by the local assessing officer. Assessment is being done by some faceless officer. So the borrowed satisfaction chalta nahi. That is why the High Court has stuck down the 148. Same applies here. Why assessing officer record a satisfaction regarding 269 SS? It is going to be levied by the Joint Commissioner. So some tribunals have taken that view. Don't depend upon that view. If it goes against you, and 271D is 100%. So 271D penalty also you can get away by paying 25%. You can understand the importance of the scheme by that itself. And then they say if the payment is made, for third column is if the application is filed before 31st, it is the same rates. If it is filed later, you pay 10% more. And they have, I said no, those who have missed buses also can come back and claim a seat here by paying premium. Naturally, if the regular first timer is coming appeal pending on 22/7, he is coming, he has to pay only tax. So those who have missed the bus in 2020, they have to pay 10% more penalty also. So that is it. And one more thing, senior sir has raised a query. Department also is withdrawing cases in two circumstances. Here it's not withdrawal. In department appeal, you can pay 50% and get away. And department is withdrawing the appeal depending upon the monetary levels. That is different subject. Earlier, if the 50 lakhs before the tax disputed amount is there before the tribunal, the department is entitled to withdraw, and they are forced, not only entitled.
There is a legal issue. Which
Yes.
is the limit.
There are amendments in that circular. That is not the subject matter of the topic now. There's only High Court's limits have been increased by double, 1 crore to 2 crore. This is a different stand. So here, in case of a department appeal, you have won an appeal before CIT. Department is an appeal before the tribunal. But your mind says that the CIT's order may not be sound, or maybe depending upon the case law existing at that time. Now the Supreme Courts and High Courts have held every day when the case comes, and especially if the Supreme Court has come up, so you may feel that we are not in a sound footing. In those cases also, you can advise your SSCs to opt for the scheme and pay 50% of the tax, not the 100%. You have won it before the CIT, but you may feel that it is a very difficult situation or 50-50 case. You can, because if it is reversed, again everything comes back to 34 ABC. In such a cases also, SSC will be benefited. So what are the taxes to be paid? That table says that you offer in your form 1, you file, and the department on its part within 15 days. The word used is shall. Shall, there is no option for the department, sir. Department within 15 days shall intimate you if your application is correct and the quantification is everything is correct. So they will automatically issue the same form. If there is any dispute maybe in the amount itself, then they may find it difficult. So they have to issue a form. Yes, Maya, whatever you have said is right. You are eligible to opt for the scheme. You pay this, they will quantify it in their form also. That is called form 2. After receipt of that form 2, there is a problem. Within 15 days, you have to pay the challan and pay form 3, file form 3. Form 3 is a very simple form. It says only the challan number and then a certificate that I am withdrawing or withdrawn my appeal or whatever it is. There comes a situation within 15 days only. Then I have to you have to advise your clients, or you have to see that unless the money is ready, you don't have to file form 1. So because don't advise the SSCs that you have 30 days to pay. Suppose I file form 1 today, and ITO just now said it's very active, is going to issue tomorrow. Your time clock starts from tomorrow, not after 15 days. 30 days is not there. 15 days from form 2. Form 2, if he is ready to give tomorrow, then 16 days. So advise your clients that you have got only 15 days time to pay the amount, what you are already telling him the amount. So within 15 days, you must be ready. So unless the money is ready, you don't file form 1 up to December 31st. After December 31st, naturally you have to pay, file. So within 15 days, you have to pay the challan and file that form 3, which has got small declaration that I am withdrawing appeal. Anyway, we will file a letter to the other authorities also that I am filing withdrawal. Then the department gives you that form 4, that you are a good boy. Those who have applied earlier in VDS and all these things also, you will get a certificate that your appeal is deemed withdrawn and all these things. Your Vishwasam has been granted. Your piece is,
Here is the problem.
here the piece is sold
Sorry.
at a very cheaper rate. In those circumstances, I said piece is sold or not, I don't know. In most of the cases, penalty is automatically levied because at that time they say, hey, what is it your offer? This is all no voluntary. We have come for a survey to your house and you are offering 10 rupees income. No piece, nothing and all these things. Here it is definitely offered. Form 4 you will get. There ends the scheme. But in executing the scheme, there are certain difficulties, issues. There are conflicting provisions also. I'll explain one by one. Madam, here your role comes, and my pet topic on that, I have been discussing this issue for the last 1.5 months, not only from 1.5 months, since the day it is introduced. I have to say here, I have filed more than 80 applications in the scheme 1. Till now, in this scheme, I am not able to file more than six applications. Reason I will tell you, you all appreciate. Most of the appeals nowadays are related to the demonetization or any additions regarding the bank deposits and all these things. Most of the additions are 68, 69 additions, where the tax is at 78%, including compulsory surcharge and education cess and everything under 115 BBE. So the government says you get out from interest under 234 ABC by paying tax. How can I advise my SSC to pay 78% of the tax and then get what is the relief he is going to get? And seeing the penalties, all the while I am telling that he will get away with penalty and all these things. There is no penalty, much penalty. For a regular editions, 30% wala, penalty is, your honors are well aware, 100% to 300%. And department was kind enough, in most of the cases, they levied maximum of 100%. Very bad SSC is fate, they got 300% penalty. Most of the times it is 100%. For 68 editions, 115B, penalty itself is 10%. Having paid 78%, another 10%. The 10%, I'm praying, is the one who have the percentage you have fixed for a latecomer. A person who is going to file a application after December 31st, you are going to punish him with only 10%. So 10% is not a great thing. A person having paid 78%, can he pay, can he file a declaration under VSVS in the latest scheme? So my prayer, I have circulated it to some people. I'll be giving another memorandum to your Vishwas, the principal commissioner here, the highest officer. I think for the 2-3 districts, and now Tirupati is also there. So Balaji will also support you. You take it up with the board and see. When I gave it to one of the top officials, he said, Sai, well covered, it's a wonderful idea. I started this even in July. The moment Madam said in the parliament, I started from August, this agitation. Agitation or whatever it is. Because most of the appeals pending with me are under 68 demonetization cases. Nearly 100 cases I can file tomorrow if the rate is brought down to regular rate. I can give guarantee. No, some that important person said, Sai, how can a rate be, rate is fixed by parliament and all this thing. How can it be changed? See, a regular appeal, we have filed. If we lose the appeal, we have to pay tax, interest, penalty, and all these things. For them, we have made a separate table and say for them you pay only tax, and for a penalty you pay 25%. 25% you have fixed the penalty is 100%. You have changed it to 25%. So parliament has got every power in the country. So make another column. It's already the table is having 4 rows. You increase another row. Doesn't affect much. Another say whoever is opting for VSVS, addition under 68 or tax is tax at 115B, put him at 30%, 40% or 50% of the tax. 78% will pay 39%. Happily they will enjoy. 234 ABC they will enjoy. They will not be having much 222 interest because 68 itself has come from 1819, not like 15, 16, 148 editions. So the benefit under 222 interest is also minimum for them. Penalty is also minimum for them, 10%. What is bothering is the tax rate itself, 78%. This is my problem. This has to be taken care by the department, government, they will always cooperate with you. So government has to consider this. If it is considered, this scheme, I think I said wonderful. It will be, I don't know better English, better qualified to be more wonderful. Then another issue is, we have put the cutoff date at 22/7/24, cutoff date. First of all, even in the old scheme, there is a cutoff date. First of all, I don't understand the validity of that cutoff date. If I want to file an appeal today, and if I want to avail the benefits of this scheme today, I can file an appeal today and go for it. Why 22/7? 22/7, the scheme was announced, form was not available up to 1st October. And some of the CITs have passed the orders on 30th July. What can I do? I'm not eligible.
It is also to file appeal.
I'll come back, sir, one by one. So 30th July has passed an order for no fault of mine. I am mentally prepared. Yes, this case. And more importantly, this faceless scheme, we don't know when the order will come. From commissioners, it will be posted in the portal, that's all. So now one of the FAQs says, FAQs answer is, no, they are not eligible. The order passed after this date, cutoff date, order is passed. You can only write to the commissioners to keep it pending. I don't know when he is going to pass the pass. Before the scheme is officially announced, it was announced in the parliament. The modalities were given on 20th September and the forms have. In that period, several appellate orders have come and they are not eligible for the scheme. Then more importantly, what was available in the original scheme, the 2020 scheme is wantonly withdrawn here. That is where the appellate order has been passed prior to the cutoff date. Sir is telling a cutoff date available. That is available for the in those scheme, in that scheme that is available for those people. A cutoff date, say I'll give you the dates. 22 July is the date. An order has come on 15 July. No order, appeal is pending on 22/7. You are not eligible, FAQ says. But in old scheme, where such is the situation, and if you have got a time for appeal before the cutoff date, That is in first appeal 30 days, second appeal 60 days, you are eligible. In those days, cutoff date is 30th January. So suppose I have received an order on 3rd January, I am eligible. My first appeal time itself is 2nd February. Second appeal lot of times. In those cases, they allowed them. That is there in the definition of appellate. Applicant itself, that is their definition. That is wantonly removed. Yesterday, one of my colleagues has brought to my knowledge one Delhi decision. Delhi High Court has yesterday pronounced, no, this is discriminatory. It cannot be done. So if the a chance to file an appeal is available for an order passed before the cutoff date, they should be eligible for. But Act, whatever be, in its wisdom, has withdrawn that from as a deviation from the existing scheme. So that order may not help us. Or further, every SSC cannot go to the High Court, and it has come in Delhi. And I don't think you are bound by Delhi High Court order. Suppose I file an application tomorrow, F1, for an appeal disposed of on February 15th July, and I have already filed an appeal before the tribunal. Tribunal, it is pending. I don't think your honors are going to entertain that application. But FAQ says I'm not eligible. So FAQ, at least it is binding. It has to be attended to. Nice. Second thing, Form 1 is filed, Form 2, your honors are going to issue. And what is the consequences? What is the remedy if there are any variances in the Form 2? There may be variances. I'll give an example. A SSC is having a demand of say 1 crore for 12-13. And 16-17, I have recently won his appeal in the ITIT. And yesterday, we got the consequential order for all these years waiting. For 16-17, we got a consequential order, and they arrived at a refund of 60 lakhs. And in the order, they wrote, this is adjusted against 12-13. But 12-13, 26 says it is not reflecting. Because of technical glitches, assessing officer says you can't upload those refunds and all these things. So my 26 AS for 12-13 still shows 1 crore area. And the Act also says, your FAQs also says, that a refund of any subsequent year, you can't take credit in your Form 1. This is not a refund claimed by me, refund already allowed by you as a consequential order to 16-17. But it is not reflected in 26 AS. So while filing Form 1, if I claim it, your honors are not going to allow it in the Form 2. What is the remedy for me? Because my time starts from the day I received Form 2. 15 days I have to pay. Where from I have to which officer I have to go? That redressal mechanism is not provided in that. That's also administratively. My prayer is you can only bring it to the higher authorities that this is the ground reports. So any act also, they will be passing an act. So after hearing from the forums only, they will make all amendments and everything. So you are our conveyors because we have got the highest officer. To be frank enough, if I switch off this mic, I can tell something. It is being recorded also.
No problem.
This has gone to several important people, I can only tell. One of the person said he has taken it to the highest of the highest. I don't know what happened. I wanted a personal audience. They said, no, you have written a wonderful this thing. No need to explain and everything need not come. But this is already 3 months old. As recently as 1.5 back, one of my friend has gone to Delhi and filed it with one of the commissioners. I got declarement also in the board. It's 1.5 month. I raised the 3 pertinent points, I think. First point is 68. Second is appeals.
Point that is one is.
It may not get me. Madam, do apologize, you may not get. A person who has filed more than 80 in first scheme and who is so much advocating for this scheme, I'm not able to file more than 6, and I don't see many also. Another 10, I think, I may.
Disposed of before 22/7, but filed in 1980 now, they are not eligible. But if appeal is disposed of after 22/7, and appeal subsequently it is filed, we are allowing that.
But the FAQ says we can't.
Not 24/7, appeal is pending.
That appeal only, first appeal only, ma'am.
That condition. Then subsequently, maybe in September, October, they file an appeal in High Court, sorry, ITO. So as of today, one appeal is pending. So I think we have issued in such cases, no?
They are not able to sign.
Not sorry,
Once any order is received, before 22nd July, we are not.
not before, after.
After March, I mean, when there is no pending appeal, as on 22nd
There
July.
is, there
There
is.
is,
Appeal is
but
pending.
order is received before forms.
Let us understood. No, 22nd, what is the state?
Eligible.
Madam, I will permit me to read FAQ October dated. And unfortunately, FAQ also only one FAQ has come. So, and 8 number, suppose a taxpayer is eligible, Itogaru, you can note down the FAQ number 8 means also advesi untaru. Suppose a taxpayer is eligible to apply for DTSV scheme 2024 in his and his appeal, as his appeal is pending on 22/7/24. But subsequently, before the taxpayer could file declaration under DTSV, his appeal has been disposed of. Can such a taxpayer still file declaration? The DTSV is a scheme for settlement of tax disputes where a decision has been given prior to the taxpayer filing decision. There is no dispute pending unless the taxpayer or the department against prefers an appeal. Therefore, where the appeal is pending on 22/7/24 but is not pending as on the date of making declaration under the scheme, such a cases are not eligible for scheme. However, in cases if the taxpayer files declaration under 90 of the scheme and intimates the same to the appellate authority, concerned authority may consider not disposing the appeal of the taxpayer.
Your issue, your appeal is pending.
Scheme is not, form 1 is not taking it.
It's not
I am giving the present tribunal number. It is not taking. Form 1 doesn't permit you. They say cutoff date is 22/7. My appeal date is somewhere in September. And worst situation, case of a person who has received on 15/7. How do I know the budget on 22/7 you are going to announce a scheme unless I get the internal information about the budget, which cannot be expected. So if a person receives an appellate order or an assessment order 15/7 and his right of appeal up to 15/8, you are curtailing his right. And you are depriving him of all these benefits, which a person otherwise is eligible for him. That also, which was there in the earlier VSVS. Why it is wantonly removed, I can't understand, but only the people with much higher wisdom can tell. And second, so these are 68 is one area where we are concerned, and the cutoff date, according to me, there is no need for cutoff date. I'll file an appeal even with the delay. I'm coming to delay. And by act or nowhere in the FAQs, it is mentioned about the delays. As I said earlier, most of the first appeals filed are with lots of petition for condonation of delay. Because as they say, sir, we have not seen the mail ID, a string officer has given, and all are 144 editions. That is why the government has taken another wonderful decision nowadays, that after seeing so many 144 assessments only, they have given a power to the commissioners. You set aside these things wherever 144 edition, because they also feel that yes, this faceless are mail, no physical notices and all these things. So people might not have received the notices and all these things. So whatever kahania we are telling them, it got impressed with them. So they are given the powers to the commissioners to set aside 144 assessments. So most of the assessments are 144. You are accepting or acknowledging it. So in most of it,
To the best of my knowledge, the department can understand complexity and resolve complexity, withdraw in any cases. Whether which is the scheme or beyond the scheme.
it's different. That's not it in the act. Whatever it is
No,
there,
Not,
no.
the scheme is not within the.
whatever is in the
Scheme.
scheme, I am telling, and whatever is required to be amended to the scheme, I am praying. Then, so the appeals we have filed with lots of delay. What is the state of it? I'm having the I2 headquarters. Sir, whether is it a valid appeal? It is pending on 22/7, but but there is a delay of 200 days in filing that appeal. General knowledge or general procedure is unless the delay is condoned, it is not a valid appeal. And in general practice, commissioners are not passing any separate orders for condoning the delay. In the appellate order itself, he will write that there is a delay and he has filed a reasonable cause, and they are kind enough to condone most of the delays. I am not disputing in those lines. But until my delay is condoned, whether my appeal is treated as a valid appeal, pending on 22/7, coming in the way of my form number 1, there is no way it is mentioned. Say, point to be clarified.
But who will decide, sir?
Huh?
Why you are telling new problems with the I to headquarters, sir?
No.
Giving a new problem.
They are, no, they are.
Don't give new problems to your people. See, once you find the appeal with the condemnation, already the act said they have filed, they have opened.
Accepted, that is their. No, we are filing. No, my problem is, we can file Form 1. Suppose it is there, it goes something else in the Form 2, the redressal form is not there. And your time starts within 15 days. And I am coming. No. Whatever I say.
That is the headache of.
No. Your headache starts. No.
Not the.
No, please listen to me. There is sufficient headache already caused with the, like I mentioned it. So important provisions are there. Please have patience to hear. Please have patience 2 more minutes.
Clue to the department.
No clue. It is there in the act, sir. The section says the moment Form 2 is issued, the appeal is deemed to have been withdrawn. That's there in the section. The moment Form 2 is issued, it is there in the section. For your benefit, if you want, I will read. Upon filing the declaration, an appeal pending before so and so are disputed shall be deemed to have been withdrawn from the date on which the certificate under subsection 1 of 92 is issued, that is Form 2. And if the Form 2 is to be amended or is to be agitated, there is no way your appeal is deemed to have been withdrawn. It's not so simple as you say. Okay, already, what?
So it should be department. We need to pay the tax.
No. Form 2 is at variance against your, Form 2 is in variance with you for so many reasons, for tax also. Where is the redressal? They should provide some more time for paying 15 days. Why, if my appeal should have been treated as at the stage of Form 2 itself? In the Form 3, there is a declaration that I am withdrawing my appeal. The department would have made a provision that appeal is deemed to have been withdrawn upon issuing Form 4. Why Form 2? That is not. It is an unintentional interaction causing havoc. They say they could have waited up to Form 4. The scheme is completed. Form 1, Form 2, Form 3, Form 4. 4 steps are there. 2 steps from the government, 2 steps from the SSC. Form 1 I filed, no problem. Form 2 will issue. Form 3 I have to pay. And you are asking me to give a certificate that I am withdrawing. Form 3, if you go through, it contains a certificate that I have withdrawn.
What certificate, sir?
What it is declared in the act says that you have withdrawn. And after it has been deemed to have been withdrawn, why should I say that I have withdrawn?
That's what I am telling.
Simply.
That's what I am telling.
Simply acknowledgement is substance, sir.
Which is already enforced by law.
When is read for me to Form 3?
I can't do only that.
That's what I am telling. That is why in this section, appeal is deemed to have been withdrawn upon issuing Form 4, not Form 2. There is another stage. It says upon issuing Form 2, section you read.
Where the court has already withdrawn my appeal, who am I to again withdraw it?
But if they are in the Form 3, then certificate you have to again. No. Let me complete. No. Have patience. I am going to read the next section. Next class also you read. Next place. Where the appellant, where a declarant has filed an appeal before the appellate forum or any writ petition or High Court or Supreme Court appellate forum is 8 and 880. Court against any order, he shall withdraw such appeal or writ petition with the leave of the court wherever required after issuance of certificate under 1 of 92. We will furnish proof of such withdrawal along with the intimation of the payment. And the Act also insists that I should withdraw. And on the other hand, it says by giving a simple form 2, your appeal is deemed to have been withdrawn. It is conflicting. You are, instead of deeming it my appeal with withdrawn, and again you are asking me to file a letter and a form 3.
The appellate authority.
I don't know. And Form 3 is filed to the commissioner. Form 3 is filed to the commissioner. Form 3 contains that certificate that I have informed and I am filing, I am eligible for. And for Form 4, eligibility conditions are 2. You have to pay tax and file that certificate.
Proceedings a barring tribunal is also faceless. The same data can be transmitted to the appellate authority and then they can withdraw it automatically by passing this one.
Form 3 is there. I am also to give a certificate. Otherwise, you will not receive Form 4.
Thing is, itself has said that upon issue of Form 4, your appeal is deemed to have been withdrawn.
Yes.
Who am I to give a declaration?
That's what they want us. That's what the subsequent section provision says. Next class says that you have to file. That's what I am telling. Both are at loggerheads.
An appeal which was already withdrawn.
They only use the word deemed to have been. That means that somebody can interpret it in a way, better wisdom people, that after 4, it is deemed to have been withdrawn from the date on which Form 2 is issued or whatever it is. That clause, I think, is redundant. Should not have been. Second, Your Honor, now one good provision is that by the date of filing declaration, you might have paid some taxes or something has already been collected. So that will be fully given credit. If a refund arises, refund also will be granted to you. It's not that refunds are exhausted. Refund only thing is you will not get any interest on the refund. But the excess tax is paid on whatever you have paid, you are required to pay under scheme, that will be refunded. That's a wonderful scheme. And one more thing, the scheme prohibits certain people. They said the assessment under 143, 147 or 153A, 153C pursuant to searches. They don't specify because this scheme says the old assessees also can come under this. The assessments done under 158 BD, some of your seniors must be knowing that section. So they were substituted by 153A and 153C now. Parallel to 153A is 158A and 158B and 158BD is 153A, that is third parties. Some courts said 158BD, B and BD are 153A and C only, but the Act here says prohibits only 153A and 153 case, 153C cases. So my clarification required is whether an appeal against an order under 158 BD and 158 B are eligible under this. There is no clarity here. Can't say that 158 B and 158 BD are covered under 153A. There is lots of difference. The scope of that section itself is undisclosed income. Here, total assessment. So there are two different fields, operate on two different areas. So 158B and D also should be eligible, according to me, by more simple interpretation of this section. They have not bought them. I have 3 crores demand in those days. Demand in those days, 91 to 96 the assessment. 3 times we have gone to the tribunal and are now paid. I can share you one in that case, small issue. The issue was, in those days, Supreme Court has come in my way. In those days, a Vishwas is a third party's case, a diary was found, my entries were there. In those days, the section was the information belonging to me. I am on the ground that the diary doesn't belong to me, that diary belongs to one Subbarao. Information may be relating to me. So I am covered by that definition. So all the way dispute is going on along with the other merits issue also. This legal issue I am very strong. Sometime Supreme Court has stepped in And now the act has been amended that belonging to is replaced by relating to. So the Supreme Court said that clarification or amendment is retrospective. It is deemed to have been in the statute right from the 1961 Act. So my legal ground last there,
I think.
but state has not disputed, but disposed of appeal. It is not disposed of, it is still with the CIT in the third round for several reasons. That SSC will gain a lot much if he is permitted to. That we will find, we will see fate of it. Earlier I was telling that prosecution to be initiated will also be waived off, but the section bars in cases where prosecution has already been initiated, VSVS is not applicable to you. Now, in the initial stage, they said we will give some clarification, we issue another notification to clarify certain things and all these things. But in the initial act at 99, section 99D says, the form and manner in which a declarant shall furnish undertaking, that undertaking in section 91(4), that is, he has to file an undertaking that I will not use this declaration or benefits of the scheme or prosecute the appeal in other way. On this issue, I will not come in any other form. The declaration I have to give. And in the initial act, they said, we will be giving the form. In the notifications given on September 20th also, that form has not yet been released. That has to be there. And as your honors have already said, last date is not yet defined. So I can file up to 31st December. Thereafter also I can file with 10% or whatever it is, this way that.
Next December also.
Unending till the department feels it's enough. And they are going to offer it.
Please they will tell. So,
Naturally,
some notification.
naturally, we can expect.
After 1985, the disputes are coming down substantially.
And then one FAQ, Act, sir, please. Act says an appellant is applicable to appellant. It means a person in whose case an appeal or writ petition or special leave petition. It includes writs. Then disputed tax definition also includes in case where an appeal, writ petition or special leave petition is pending before the appellate firm as on the specified note, the amount of tax that is payable by the appellant if such appeal or writ petition or special leave petition has been decided against him. So even if I am in writ, I can go for this scheme. Then there is a FAQ. Nowadays, most of the Vijayawada people know this 148. I have to explain. On 148, there were two types of appeals. 148 notice itself we have as stated in the High Court, and after the assessment only most of the SSCs have come. So those also we have as stated on assessment pursuant to 148. But lots of editions were made, and initially our Telangana High Court was gracious enough to quash them, and more than 4 years or whatever it is there, left with a very happy face. So subsequent, our Andhra High Court, I can call Andhra, though I left it 35 years back, born here.
Suppose a person had filed.
Sir, let me complete, let me have the satisfaction of explaining myself, and then I'll open up for the discussions. You can note down, I'll also note down. So Andhra High Court, from day one also, they are not quashing the proceedings, they are keeping them in suspense. The operation of the order is suspended. Operation of the. Later on, Bombay High Court said, okay, so many appeals from Telangana mostly and other High Courts also have gone to the Supreme Court. They said, why burdening my Supreme Court and all these things so much? So every court has now, including Telangana, are nowadays only suspending the operation of the assessment order. I am talking about the writs against the assessment order pursuant to 147. Now, later on, we challenged even the 147, 148D orders also. We will categorize them later. These orders are now suspended. Operation is suspended. Operation suspended means demand cannot be enforced immediately, and there is no time limit of 30 days for you to file immediately. Whenever the decision is finally made by Supreme Court, then the writ will be taken up and this will be decided accordingly. So operation of the suspension of the operation does not mean that the writ is disposed of, writ is pending. But one of the FAQs, our people have given a clarification that wherever the this thing is given, question number 30. Can DTSP scheme be availed if the enforceability of the assessment order is stayed by the High Court or Supreme Court? No. The scheme applies to quantum appeals pending on 22/7. Stay on the assessment order does not quantify as a pending appeal. According to me, humbly, this is not proper, Your Honor. Because operation, stay of operation of the order, writ is still pending. The definition, writ is there. Quantification is also provided. Suppose I decided why this pending, Supreme Court may reverse and again I have to face 148 and all these things. Order is already there. Its quantification is also available. I'll pay it off 20% of the tax portion because most of those editions, as somebody has rightly put it, related to 1516, 234 ABC is much more than the quantum. I can apply it, I think, but your FAQ comes in our way. That is not. And as far as this appeals or writs against 147, it is difficult because quantification is difficult in those cases. The disputed tax definition also includes that if the writ is withdrawn, what is the amount of tax you are going to pay, that you can pay. But in 148D notice, there is no quantification. That is why you cannot apply. Now, the last important point is it applies to direct taxes. First of all, the major question is whether nowadays new acts have come and they are also being administered by Income Tax Department only, Binami Act and Black Money Act. Whether those are covered here. Those are covered here. But in the definition exclusion clause, they say any source of income outside India, any asset outside India, indirectly Black Money Act mostly covers those items only. But this is quantum. Any source of income outside India, any asset located outside India, and that if any assessment order is passed, that is prohibited from availing benefits under VSVS. Suppose there is no addition under those items, the assessing officer has initiated. So we could explain properly that there is no such a undisclosed income or undisclosed asset outside India. He has passed a nil order, but still he levied a penalty under section 43 of that act, stating that you have not declared these things in that return of Binami Act. That return, it is not there. So he has levied a penalty. It's a technical penalty, not connected with quantum. That is not prohibited. First, two doubts I have. Whether Binami Act and Black Money Act, are they covered under direct taxes under scheme? And whether penalties under those things not connected with, just like your 271D. 271D is not connected with your quantum. It is a purely technical one. I have taken more than 20,000 at the time of sale or loans or whatever it is. It is independent of the quantum. I am eligible for 25% tax payment. And so here is a technical glitch. Penalty is for not reporting, not that it is found as undisclosed. It is not assessed as undisclosed asset. Assessment is nil, whether I am eligible or not. I have filed, sir. I am waiting for my fate. And they called me and said we are going to reject Sai.
Putting questions, so many questions.
But department has to answer. And orally they said, Sai, we are not going to. There again, I said, no, where is the redressal for me? It is not blatantly prohibited. I am, according to my limited knowledge, eligible to file. You have rejected my application. Where should I go? Writ only. Again, I have to approach the child accountants only, advocates only. They are already building huge bungalows by this 148 writs in the High Court. What child accountants? The movement nowadays, even the child accountants who are doing appeals to me are not even coming to my office. They are simply sending the password and email ID. I am passing it on to the High Court advocate. It is building. So again, everything has to go to writ means that is. And lastly, that is one area. Binami Act and all these things have to be addressed to madam. And then finally, depreciation and MAT. I will only touch lightly, may not. Suppose you have you are claimed forward, carry forward of 10 lakhs or 20 lakhs depreciation. It is middled with by the assessing officer. How you can settle it in VSVS. That's also provision has been made wonderfully by the government. So you treat it as any addition and pay the tax and carry the entire 10 lakhs of depreciation carry forward to the next year. Or option is given. You don't pay any tax. Calculate it. What is the depreciation carry forward disturbed by the assessing officer? You don't pay any VSVS now and carry forward only the adjusted depreciation. Understand? In the first case, you the adjustment of depreciation, you treat it as an income and pay the appropriate tax only. And carry forward the total carry forward depreciation, what you have claimed in the return, though assessing officer has adjusted it. Second option is you don't pay any tax on it, but you carry forward only the adjusted depreciation. Same with the MAT also. MAT also, if MAT credit is adjusted, you treat the adjustment as a income of that year and pay 30% and carry forward the entire MAT credit. Second option is you don't pay any tax, carry forward the reduced MAT. And one more thing, when you are carry forward the lesser depreciation, some of our intelligent professional people, including me, may try to readjust the WDV. I claim 10 lakhs depreciation, you are allowed only 6 lakhs depreciation. So my WDV should get enhanced by 4 lakhs. People sitting at Delhi are more wiser than us. They said, Chaltana. Even though you are adjusting your carry forward depreciation, your WDV cannot be meddled with. You carry on as if you have claimed 10 lakhs depreciation only. Some of the cautions I should reiterate and then leave off. 15.3 form 3 within 15 days from form 2, not 30 days or whatever it is. So you should be ready with the money, and you have to file separate form 1 for each of the addition assessment years, each of the appeals. All appeals cannot be clubbed. Only clubbing is when a quantum appeal and penalty appeal are also there. I forgot to tell. If you settle the quantum, penalty automatically goes. But you have to mention that their penalty appeal is all separately filed. It will be of some use to them, so that will also be covered in your form 4. That we have to take care. And when file form 1, when you are settling the quantum issue, it is our duty as a chartered accountant to incorporate the penalty also there. We are not required to pay anything on the penalty. Quantum settled, penalty automatically goes. And if there are 2 appeals, one by the SSC and the department, so you have got partial relief before the commissioner, you can go and appeal to the tribunal. The unaggrieved petition deleted, they will come up and appeal. You can file one application and you pay 100% on your tax portion, and they and pay 50% on the tax portion as stated by them. Payment is from our side only. They will not withdraw. And one thing, tribunal most of it may not be available. An MA filed before the tribunal is not an appeal. Appeal is already disposed of unless it is recalled. So if it is recalled now, it is not pending again. And the CITs mostly will be giving enhancement notice. They said act is very good enough. They said enhancement notice is also covered. And you calculate on the amount and then pay it off. Enhancement also can be taken care of. And the CIT also, the word used by the act is shall give within 15 days. There is no mentioning of working days, or that some of the officers were hearing, madam, at our end, that they are treating it as 15 working days, which may be reasonable enough, but the act says 15 days, and the word used is shall, as shall for our payment also, it applies, I think.
They are not waiting for 15.
I was saying third day. That's why I said after seeing you only, I'm repeatedly seeing you. I'm cautioning the chartered accountants here. For form 3, you don't say that 30 days is available, 15 plus 15. Raghalu Gar is here, you will be allowed only 17 days. 2 days for Form 2 and then again 15 days starts, your clock starts day after tomorrow. 15 days, by this month end day, you will be collecting the money. Form 4, there is no time.
No time, sir. Yes, no problem. So that is duty of the department only.
For good boy certificate, you have to wait. For good boy certificate, you have to wait.
No time.
So I think I have covered most of my notes or whatever it is. So 2 or 3 items from the government, the representation, I'll only read the last summary, what I have submitted. I will be giving it a copy again, Your Honor, through these people. What I said, I have explained all these problems in a detailed memorandum and said proposed remedy against the proceedings pending under section 68, 69 and cutoff date. Classify the income determined under 68, 69 and 60D, 9D of the AT Act as income from other sources. So bringing them to 30% tax. Reduce the tax rates on such income from 60% to raise 30% to encourage the taxpayer to opt for the scheme. There need not be any cutoff date. All appeals pending as on the date of filing of the relevant application should be eligible for availing the benefits under. There cannot be any discrimination between a SSC who got an order just 1 week before of the introduction of the scheme or later for no fault of mine. And these changes would benefit both the taxpayers and the government by reducing pending litigation and generating. And mostly it will be beneficial to the SSC. It's a wonderful scheme, I said. If this
But not to the
minor
department,
huh?
not to the department.
Department means paying the taxes, getting the department taxes, they can collect it with interest. As I said, 2 cases I have explained. Madam is also smiling. 2 cases we are in the up and down, going around the pillars for 10 years, 14 years. What will happen if there is no scheme? One day we may lose. How much 234, 222 interest the SSC is going to pay, penalty is going to pay. We all know, as a true professional person, we all know. And me personally, conducting appeals, representing appeals, I know when appeal is lost, it's a horrible situation for the SSC. Appeal we may lose for several reasons. Maybe case law differs, as I said, of that definition itself, Supreme Court said, is from retrospective effect. Generally, the good law set by Supreme Court itself is anything affecting the taxpayers will be prospective. Any damaging, retrospective. But modification of the definition, somehow they felt, and they are the highest judiciary body, and we have to be bound by it. It's the law of the land. Law of the land. I can't comment upon it. Suppose if I lose that appeal. So whenever such an opportunity comes, it is our part as a chartered accountants here. So somebody was telling most of them are not handling appeals. Not necessary, you need not handle appeals. Assessment was handled by you. You go back to your consultant who is handling the appeals. Sir, whether this can be gone to VSVS, passing on the benefit to the, as a professional, we have to serve the society. That is the client is. He has come to us with a high hope that we will be doing justice to his case, either in the original stage or just like as we approach a doctor. If he gives a wrong medicine, we will be feeling. So that's why it's equally noble profession. It is a duty on our part to serve the clientele in the best possible manner. Thank you. And thank you for the Vivad Association for giving me this wonderful opportunity. And just now I was hearing 85 computers are all remodeled and they are giving technical training and all these things. This is wonderful. And I feel proud that I again belong to this city. Thank you. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Prasad Garu. Your deliberation.
I have left anything?
Yeah, sir. Your deliberation today on this topic, Vishwas scheme, has reflected your deep insight into the knowledge, and especially with respect to appellate work, which you have acquired thorough knowledge on several years. Now, I request members. Yeah, since